Page 15, Puff the Magic Dragon. Over on page 14, they're introducing sharps and natural signs. And they show them there. The sharp sign is the little, I guess today's people would call it a hashtag. When I was young, we called it a tic-tac-toe sign or a number sign or a pound sign. Now that's pretty much just known as a hashtag. The natural sign, I don't see a natural sign. But there is one over on page 15 at the very bottom, the next to the last measure. The first sharp in the left hand is a C sharp. The second one with an incomplete sharp sign, it's just a weird thing, that's a natural sign. That means play a natural. A natural is the note, no sharp or flat, just the note. The natural note. Okay. Now, a rule on sharps, flats, and naturals. They apply from that point in the measure to the rest of the measure. Once you cross a bar line, they cancel out. They don't apply anymore, okay? They're no good. Last line next to the last measure. On the left hand, you have those two C's. First one's a C sharp. The second one, if it did not have a natural sign, if it just had the C, the note C with nothing, that would be a C sharp also, because the sharp applies for the rest of the measure. All C's, everywhere, no matter where they're at, it would be that C. So they have to put in the natural if they don't want a C sharp anymore, which they don't. And that's what that's for. If there were a C in the last measure, and they wanted to C natural, they wouldn't have to put a natural sign in it, because once you cross the bar line, that sharp doesn't apply anymore. It's okay. Now in this piece, other than the sharps, that you gotta watch out for, there's some tricky fingering going on. You're in this position to start in the right hand. Generally, not always, but generally, you're gonna use the same finger that you'd use on the natural, on the sharp. So in the second measure, when I want that F sharp, I'm using fourth finger on F, so I'm gonna go ahead and use the fourth finger on the F sharp. Okay, because it's there. It's handy, it's there, why not? But not always. For instance, in the left hand, you're in here to start in the left hand, this position. And if you'll notice in the second line, first measure, it's an F sharp. So we're going to use the little finger on the F sharp. You may have to move your hand a little closer to the fall board to get there, so you can reach it there. And then once you're done with it, get your hand back out. Right? In the next measure, and by the way, that B is played with the third finger, so you're here to here, you got to reach out because you need to connect them. And that B, by the way, is melody. You got to play that louder, right? And it's melody and a harmony both. It's melody when it's played, it's harmony for the rest of the measure. Isn't that weird? Oh well. Be aware that when you finish the second line in the right hand, you're here. Then when you go to the next line, you're back in C position. You got to go back down here. The last line in the right hand, look at the fingering. You're here to start. And the left hand gets it. And then the right hand moves up one key, so the thumb is on the B, on the D. And then stretch up more, so the third finger's on G. You'll be in position to, you're moving around a little bit. Now once again, the phrasing, I don't agree with their phrasing. If you want to use that phrasing, go right ahead. I suggest you follow the words and the sentences. Break the phrases up according to the sentence. Play that first line there is all one phrase as far as I'm concerned, except maybe for the last note. I wouldn't break that up. The second line, that's all one phrase as far as I'm concerned. I would not break that up either. You can experiment and see what you think with the phrasing, but I'm not going to break them up. I'm a big stressor on, let's get this correct, all right? And there's little bitty things in here that you can easily fudge on. Well, do that after you get it correct. First, get it correct. I'm referring now to the second line, last measure. In the right hand, that's a dotted half note. You're going to hold it down for 3 counts. 1, 2, 3, rest. In the left hand, you have a half rest and a half note. So the first 2 beats, you're resting, and then you're going to play that for 2 counts. The last beat of that measure, that C is by itself because you've lifted up the right hand. Be sure and do that. So you got 1, 2, 3, rest. See how that works? Just be sure you get the rhythm down where you're holding the notes down the correct amount of time. Don't fudge it. Don't get careless with it. Just read what's there and do what's there. Common time, 4/4 time. Let's try this out. It's got a little bit of eighth note in it, but not much. I'm going to leave the metronome on 70. Let's see if we can do it at 70. You learn it first, and when you have it learned, then try it with me. Or at least try it one hand at a time, right? First, as you're learning it, and then you can put the hands together. All right, here we go. Hands, hands, hands. Middle C position again. Okay. 1, 2, ready, go. 3. Rest. 2, 3. 2, 3, 4, off.